Welcome to Applied Economics Financial Markets. My name is Mr. D'Annunzio, and I'm really excited for this class for this term. We have an amazing group of alumni that are going to be talking to us on a weekly basis. We're going to be diving deep into financial markets. And heck, financial markets are front page news. What's going on in GameStop? That's going to be day one lesson. That's what we're talking about tomorrow. So in this video, I want to explain kind of how the portal works, some of the resources, some big picture themes and trends going on. That way we can get all the logistical stuff set aside and we can get into the material. So with that, I'm going to share my screen and walk you through our portal page. You can see here, this is our kind of our home page. Nice thing on the left-hand side, I have financial markets kind of real-time data already done for you. See the futures market is moving as we speak. You got commodities, you have bonds. So you get a quick glance on what's going on with world markets. You also have news right here. This is from, I believe this is Reuters on the left-hand side, and Market Watch, more market-specific news, as well as some class information here. So we meet synchronously during B3. You see these groups right here. Given the way in which these alumni speakers are going to work, I will explain the groups kind of more at the middle of next week. That's going to be more relevant for us. Some important things to note, though. Asynchronous work is due at 9 p.m. on the day of the work that it's assigned. This may be different than your other classes. The reason why I do this is because I want you to distinguish between homework and asynchronous work. Asynchronous work is expected to take you about 60 to 70 minutes. So if you're saving it until 10 p.m., that means you're going to be going to bed at midnight, and that's not a good cycle, right? I want you to do the work during the class period that you have, especially this first week while we're in quarantine. Homework is due the beginning of next class. So that's the distinction. So homework you can do the morning of going into class. Asynchronous work needs to be due 9 p.m. on the day the work is assigned. You see the Zoom link there for the kind of this first week as well as office hours. If you do anything via Google Forms, please share it with Matt.D'Annunzio. And I have some office hours and extra help, but if you have any extra help, just email me. That's kind of the big thing. You see that I have the Alfred Center matrix right here because this is a GESC course. It's not super big, but a lot of things that we're going to be talking about in this class directly relate to this, especially the idea of taking action when we kind of get to our final unit with investing for the common good. So if you're a GESC student, you're in the right place, and continue to find ways to think about this matrix in relationship to this class. All right, so this is our home page. The calendar is where kind of everything is going to be centered. So if you go to the calendar, you're going to see here that the month of February, the entire term is already spelled out for you what we're doing. So for Monday, this is tomorrow's class, right? You'll see, hey, we have synchronous class, tells you the time. There's the Zoom link. You have objectives, resources, everything you need is right there. Tuesday is asynchronous, right? So you'll see what homework is due. That's an asynchronous lesson, the objectives and resources. And then if you click here, it'll take you a link to the directions for the asynchronous class. Now, sometimes, right, this portal is a little bit finicky with links and such, so it may not work perfectly. If that's the case, just email me and I can figure things out. If the asynchronous link is not working, what you're then going to want to do is go to your resources tab, and you'll see in here, these are our 5 units, basically a unit a week, and they're kind of more mini units. You'll click in the current week, right? And you'll see, well, there's that asynchronous lesson right there. And every worksheet is spelled out, or every link or whatnot is spelled out with what we're kind of doing for that week. And so again, all the resources is right there for you. Dropbox is here. So anytime you have something kind of due, be with the Dropbox. You also have that discussions tab, and you see that you have a discussion post that you have on Tuesday. That's the portal. I want to talk a little bit more about this and kind of the theme of the course. Every week, I'm going to be inviting an alumni speaker to come talk to us. We have a tremendous group of alumni that work in finance, but also most of you are seniors. I think we have a couple juniors. You're going to be spending more time of your life as a Loomis alum than you are as a Loomis student. And building that connection and seeing that Loomis relationship, I think is something that's really important. So the first week, we have Ned Salter, who's the global head of equity research, or investment research for Fidelity. He's going to be talking on Wednesday's class. So the theme of the week will be understanding stock market and stock market valuations. Week 2, we have the COO of Robinhood coming. Robinhood's been in the news, and yes, we have the COO coming to talk to class. I'm super excited about that. It will be a fireside chat. Week 3, we have Rachel Court, who actually oversees the entire Loomis endowment. She's on their investment committee. She's a portfolio manager. She's going to be talking about how we think about investment creation and kind of portfolio creation. Unit 4, we're going to get a little more personal. We're going to talk about getting a job. What does it look like to have a job on Wall Street? What type of skills? So I have 2 speakers that week, one on Monday, one on Friday. One who works as a trader, Marty Volez, and one who works in investment banking, Michael Anderson. Again, 2 pretty incredible alumni who are going to talk to us about how they got started, their careers, and what type of skills they look for in successful kind of employees. And the last one, super fired up, we have Jason Karp. He's going to talk about investing for the common good. Jason Karp ran a $4 billion hedge fund, left the hedge fund business to create a holding company about physical wellness called Human Corp. He's done a podcast with Rohan Oza, who's a guest shark on Shark Tank. He asked me if I wanted to have vouchers for his kind of candy company that he's kind of overseeing. So really excited to have him. He'll be coming that week 5 when we talk about investing for the common good. So given that the theme and kind of each week is centered on this alumni speakers, that's really what our term on project is. I'm not going to have any tests or quizzes, but instead you're going to work on this term on project. And so I'm going to open it up for you. You should be able to see right here, right? You're going to be creating an investment guide. And this investment guide is something that I hope will stay with you beyond this class. I want you to create something that is lasting, that is permanent, that comes through all the takeaways from this class. You have 2 forms. You can either kind of create a brochure or you can create a mini webinar. Regardless of what form you do, the content's exactly the same. Your top 10 important financial literacy, financial investment, financial market takeaways, right? That's your goal. Now you have 6 speakers, so 6 of those will come from those speakers, right? So, if Ned talks about the importance of diversification, that could be takeaway 1, and then you're going to have a 3 to 5 paragraph, a 3 to 5 sentence kind of explanation of it, some good visuals, right? That would be kind of sprucing up that brochure. If Rachel talks about the importance of compound interest, again, that could be another potential takeaway. Again, you'd have some sort of visual and some sort of explanation there. I have some sample ones here, kind of Warren Buffett's ones. No, these are not going to be perfect because we're changing it a little bit for this assignment, but it's a good way to help you get started. And so for each of these alumni events, you should be taking notes. You should be kind of thinking, okay, what are some essential takeaways for me as I think about my financial life? I will be evaluating both on creativity and on the content. There's the rubric right there for you, which you can kind of see it broken down. So that's it. As I said, I'm really excited for this class. I've worked really hard with the alumni office to kind of bring some really tremendous speakers for you. And I'm going to expose you to something that you've never been exposed to before. And I should say this in the beginning, but I'm assuming you have no knowledge. I don't care whether you know what a stock is, what a bond is, you have no clue. What I'm trying to do is teach you these things. And hopefully by the end of class, not only are you going to understand this stuff, but you're going to have something that's tangible, whether it's kind of webinar or the brochure, that you can say, hey, this is a guide that I can use for my entire life. Talk about jobs, talk about resumes, talk about interviews, talk about how do I think about saving money and putting it in an investment account. This thing hopefully is going to stick with you well beyond this class. And in so doing, you're going to be talking to some amazing alumni, and we're going to be going through this quarantine and then back in person together. So I'm really excited. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, and I will see you via Zoom shortly.